Welcome back. Listening to Inside the Great Outdoors. Time for the Doc Exchange, and we're going to learn about what?
Woodchucks.
Woodchuck. How much wood could a
Groundhogs.
woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck woodchuck what?
Whistling pigs. Marmota monax are large. They're anywhere from 4 to 15 pounds. They're ground dwelling, burrowing, diurnal squirrels. They're members of the family squirrels, and the order is Rodentia, so they're big rodents. Um, I call them a squirrel because I've seen them actually high up in trees in my backyard while I was squirrel hunting. My heart was soft that day, and I didn't pop her. She was a big, fat groundhog, probably 30 feet up in a tree. It's a rodent, again, member of the squirrel family. This is the only species of marmot in this part of the country. This is a group of very large ground squirrels. There's quite a few different marmots out west. They're highly efficient diggers with burrows extending horizontally, long, really long burrows, 50 to 60 feet. And these burrows can have 4 to 5 entrances or exits, as they like to call them. The burrows are a nuisance to farmers, causing damage to farm machinery, livestock, and they undermine buildings and cause damage to the buildings. They have different burrows for different seasons. In the summer, they usually uh, dig them in open areas. I've seen them, at least in my property, on the higher grounds in very open areas. In the winter, they have less conspicuous home burrows. Usually, they dig them under like a tree base or roots in the woods to help support the burrow when the harsh season comes, and they stay there for a period of true hibernation. The duration of hibernation kind of varies. They usually emerge in March or April, but I've actually seen these scraggly looking, tick filled, muddy woodchucks come out in late winter while rabbit hunting in southeastern Ohio, at least on 2 occasions that I remember. We're living a day of American folklore. Castaway Day. No, I mean Groundhog Day. If if Joe walks out after the show and sees his shadow, uh, it's going to be a sunny day, and winter's here to stay. If he
It don't
does,
look very sunny
if
out there
no,
today.
if he doesn't see a shadow, spring is not far away.
Oh,
So,
oh well.
well, who knows?
Yeah.
They have a high pitched alarm call. Hence they call them whistling pigs. I've never heard them whistle, but they can also chatter, squeal, grind their teeth, and make all kinds of barking noises too. I've never heard that either.
I've heard the grinding teeth.
Have you heard the grinding
It
teeth?
wasn't a good sound to hear.
No, I would imagine not, especially if it's grinding in your leg or
Mm-hmm.
something.
If you're close and you hear
Yeah,
that, don't.
don't pet them.
No.
Unlike squirrels, groundhogs like green leaf shoots, and they eat about a pound or more a day. And they also like alfalfa, corn, oats. Anything's fair game for them, and this makes them very unpopular with farmers and gardeners. They have a huge appetite. I know vultures love them. They're on them before they stop uh, breathing. So do snapping turtles. Good snapping turtle bait. And some people say they tell me the young uns is good eating. Now they tell me. I don't know who this they is. I kind of looked them up in my roadkill cookbook. A friend of mine wrote that book, Dave Larcey, and who else was involved in that cookbook? Bud Reiser. He was the editor.
Oh,
The Roadkill
oh,
Cookbook, way
yeah.
back when. I think they wrote that in the 70s or 80s. I forget when. But it's kind of a kind of a neat recipe, but we're running out of time, aren't we?
You got a little bit more. Got a
Little more.
couple minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, you first get a young groundhog here. You quarter it. I would put it in some salt water, maybe 1 part kosher salt to 3 parts water. Soak it overnight, maybe outside where it's cold. Then get the meat off the bone. You can do this by boiling it or putting it in a pressure cooker at about maybe 10, 15 pounds for 15 minutes or so. Get that off the bones and then put it in some buttermilk with some Frank's hot sauce. I put that stuff on everything. Then you can make anything you want out of that meat. You can make it in a stew, or I made it once with a recipe by Andy Amrisco
Oh
out
yeah,
of his cookbook,
yeah.
which is a really good little cookbook. We made a Chinese recipe. I rolled the pieces in some, what did I roll it in? Cornstarch, as a matter of fact, with a little bit of soy sauce. Did it in a wok really quick. Took it out. Did the vegetables with, let's see, what oil did I think I used peanut oil that time. And then I used some stir-fry sauce. I think it was that Tsang, Tsang, stir-fry sauce. Whipped it up with some rice, and that was it. It was, wasn't that good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I've only had groundhog one time at a wild game dinner, and
Yeah.
once was enough.
Once is enough. Yeah.
My
There's,
wife
it was-
wasn't home at that time.
Oh.
She wouldn't have eaten it.
It was greasy and tasted like grass.
oh.
Like you
Well,
were eating a mouthful of greasy grass.
Yeah.
It was stringy and greasy and grassy tasting.
This was better than coot, though.
Yeah,
It was better than coot.
it was, I would say, the second worst tasting I've ever had was muskrat, because it tasted like swamp grass, muddy grass. And the groundhog was worse because of that greasy, stringy.
Yeah.
It just wasn't
I had a
palatable.
Labrador. This Labrador would eat anything.
But
I mean, he was a connoisseur of poop, a regular connoisseur, And this coot smelled really good. I couldn't eat it. I gave it to my dog. His name was Whiskey. He looked at it, took one sniff of it. I said, eat that, eat that. He would not touch
just looked
it.
at you like, are you
Dude.
crazy?
He wouldn't eat it.
The worst thing I ever had was I shot this elephant and it was like 90 degrees out and nothing to drink. And I took some of the bone marrow because it was liquidy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Woo, that was the worst. Lion is pretty close too.
Oof.
I tried African lion. That was not good at all. So, but in that, we got to take a break. 2 hours have gone by. We'll get to Hamden and maybe we'll get to Kevin because then we have the caller.
Stephanie's supposed to call from the Mythical Meats.
Okay.
And if not, that's okay. We still enjoyed the taste.
Yes.
Taste test was
Yeah.
a success.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gave him a
that
good
was
thing
good.
on
And
here,
they got
so-
a good plug.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we're going to take a short break and we will be back.
It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down a highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. Now from Charlottetown or from Summerside, they load him down for the big long ride. He jumps in the cab and he's off with the pride Sebagos. He's got to catch the boat to make Clementine, and he hits up that old New Brunswick line. To Montreal he comes just a-flying with another big load of potatoes. It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. Now the Ontario Provincial Police don't think much of Bud.